Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to ask, what is the Divine Masculine's perception of their DF? And we'll also ask, what is the DF's perception of the DM? And then we're going to ask a couple further questions, and we have some oracles as well. So let's get started. All right, so what is the Divine Masculine's what is the perception that the Divine Masculine has of their I don't like to say him or her. It's so hard for me. But I try not to say him or her because a lot of Divine Feminines a lot of Divine Masculines are women. Okay, so what is the Divine Masculine's perception of their DF? 2 cards, please. I know, I try so hard not to say him and her. I try so hard. What is the perception of the Divine Masculine of their DF, please? 2 cards. 2 cards for the collective. I feel like my camera's getting blurry. Hope not. Okay. What is the perception of their, what is their perception? Oh boy. Oh my. Okay. So we can take this 2 ways. So the perception, so we have the Hangman reversed, and we also have 3 of Cups reversed. Okay. So what this is telling me, so at this time, what could be happening is the Divine Masculine's perception of their Divine Feminine is that they feel like they're being suspended, right? So like their perception is that, you know, you guys have been waiting, that perhaps, oh, actually interesting. Actually, they're saying not waiting. Actually, their perception is that you're not waiting and that you might be moving on with someone else. That could be their perception, that you're not looking to hang out and that maybe you're looking elsewhere. That is interesting. But let me get a clarifier. Their perception is that you're not waiting on them. Interesting. Let's see, girl. Let's see. Can I get a clarifier here? Why is the 3 of Cups reversed with the Hangman? For the collective, the DM, what is the DM's perception of the DF? Why is the Hangman reversed? And why is the 3 of Cups reversed, please? Why? That's the perception. Yeah, they see you as stable. They see you as secure. They see you as having growth. They see you, so we got the palm tree here. So they see you as super stable. It's almost like, I feel like they perceive you as not waiting, like living your own life. But okay, why is the 3 of Cups here? Why is the 3 of Cups reversed? Why? Why is the 3 of Cups reversed? What is this perception that the DM has on their DF? What is this perception, please? What is going on here? What is the perception? Yeah, I feel like your DM, their perception is that you've moved on and that perhaps maybe you're dating someone else, or that you have your eye on someone else, and that you are not waiting for them. Because we got the Grim Reaper card. Like their perception is that this relationship is over, no second chances. That is interesting. I was not expecting that. This is what I was not expecting. That is interesting to me. But let's get some. Okay, let's do the Divine Feminine. Okay, so the Divine Feminine. What is the Divine Feminine's perception of the Divine Masculine? 2 cards, please, for the collective. What is the Divine Feminine's perspective of the Divine Masculine? I'm sorry, this is my first time using my cards in a couple of days, so I just want to make sure I really get this energy in there so I get it right. See, I knew that was going to happen. I just need 2 cards. Sorry. 2 cards. What is the perception from the Divine Feminine of the Divine Masculine? There we go. 2 cards. What is their perception of their Divine Masculine? Okay. That's interesting. Huh. So we have the sacral chakra reversed. Okay. So it's almost like the Divine feminine feels like the divine masculine is like fearful of this connection, like perceives them as kind of like stressed out, like maybe, yeah, like out of balance, like, yeah, like not balanced. That is so odd. Okay, but then we got this card. Okay, so I believe this is the Three of Wands in the traditional deck. I just have to remember what the border colors mean. Anyway, so at the same time, it's like the divine feminine perceives a divine masculine as somebody that they want to be in an alliance with, like they want this collaboration, right? They want this mission with their divine masculine. But it's like they view them as kind of fearful with the sacral chakra reversed. Okay. And yeah, it's all about the sacral chakra is all about emotions, desire, sexuality. So it's like it's reversed though. So it's like they see their divine masculine as like in fear of that. Does that make sense? Like in fear. Like that's how they're perceiving their divine masculine. So I wasn't really expecting either of these answers. Okay, so let's get a clarifier on that. How is the divine feminine? How's the divine feminine viewing their divine masculine? Can I have a clarifier for the sacral chakra reversed with the Three of Wands upright? What does this mean? How do they perceive? Yeah, it's like you perceive your divine masculine as needing more time, needing more time to heal, needing more time to complete a cycle. This is how you perceive your divine masculine. But it's so odd, the divine masculine is viewing you as very stable already, and that you don't care about a second chance. Like you don't care about it, and that you're moving on, and that I think some of the DMs might think that you're already with someone else, or that you're thinking about going with someone else, or like it's in your mind that you're thinking about moving on, and they would know in a way if you were thinking about that, right? Because they're connected to you. Okay, it's like vibrationally they're connected to you, so they can either feel your unconditional love, or they can feel your fear of them not coming back, and they can feel your confusion, and they can feel you saying, gee, I think I may want to move on and maybe try it with somebody new, or maybe it'd be easier for me just to be with a soulmate. Okay, and then no longer hanging on. No longer hanging on, no longer being in suspension. In the meantime, I feel like the divine feminine is in suspension and is waiting, and the divine feminine is saying, yeah, they're needing more time. They need time to heal. But I do want this collaboration with them. Gosh, I hope my divine masculine doesn't feel this way. Because I feel like this with the rest of the DFs. No, we want this. We want this to happen. Like we're waiting. Okay, we're waiting. Okay, we're being very patient. Please don't give up. Please don't think this is over. Okay, please don't think this is over. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. So I know this is out of the box, but because we're a mirror to each other, right? The DMs and the DFs, okay? I'm going to ask, what is the DM's perception of oneself and the DF's perception of their selves? Because your divine masculine has no choice but to reflect back to you what's inside of you. They just don't. With anyone else, they could, well, I mean, anyone's a mirror, really, but it's like the twin flames on steroids, right? So you know that whatever it is that's inside of you, and sometimes it's not conscious, okay? Sometimes it's not conscious, but whatever's inside of you, that is what they are reflecting back to you, okay? I always tell the story about how I did not know I wasn't emotionally connected to myself. I did not know. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know people were emotionally connected to themselves. I mean, no one was emotionally connected to me as a child. Like that just wasn't a thing. And so emotional connection. And the only one that actually even said that actual term to me was my twin flame. He kept saying emotionally connected to me. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? What is that actually like emotionally connected? Like I love people. What does that mean? I didn't know. And so because I wasn't emotionally connected to myself, my twin flame felt like I wasn't emotionally connected to them. And I felt like he wasn't emotionally connected to me. I try so hard to say he or she, but with my own twin flame, I have to say he and she. So with him, I felt like he wasn't emotionally connected to me, and I don't think he felt like I was emotionally connected to him. And we were just like mirroring each other's stuff. And so this is what we need to do before we get into physical union, is that we have to make sure that we are cleared up. Anything that's blocked, anything that's inside of us, anything that is any way you're running away from yourself, any way that you're disconnected from yourself, and that means a lot of your shadow sides, which is why I'm starting to pull more shadows. I bought more decks, by the way. And so we're going to learn more about our shadow sides and what could be blocking the divine masculine, okay? And that is because we are running away from ourselves in very odd ways. So let's see, how does the DM perceive himself or oneself or herself? How does the DM perceive oneself, please? Okay, how does the DM perceive oneself? 2 cards for the collective. Okay. So the divine masculine, the way they perceive themselves, we have 7 of Cups reversed and the 4 of Cups reversed. That's interesting. Okay, so typically the 7 of Cups is all about dreaming and, wishes come true and just like whatever your desires are. And it's reverse. So for me, it's more like an overthinking. It's more borderlining obsession, like a deep desire. And it's interesting because the divine feminine perceives their divine masculine as being out of balance in their sacral chakra. And in a way it's true, because this is kind of in that overly desiring, overly obsessive, kind of out of balance. Okay, and so they perceive themselves that way. They perceive themselves as like always thinking about their divine feminine. Like they know that this is true. Like they see that within, like, I'm always thinking about my divine feminine. Now, the 4 of Cups traditionally is about lack, right? So, or like not noticing that cup, or like some kind of missed opportunity, right? So this opportunity being offered. So it's almost like they realized how they perceive themselves is that there's been this missed opportunity and they don't know how to get it back. And like the way they're perceiving themselves is that, one or two ways. Either they feel like they've offered this cup and it's been rejected. I know. I get it. I know what you're all thinking, but trust me, there's a universal secret that's ridiculously weird. But they feel like they've offered you this cup and it's been rejected. Or they feel pretty bad about the fact that they rejected it. They look at themselves like, well, I messed up and I had this missed opportunity here. And they perceive themselves as missing out. Okay, but let's look at the divine feminine. How does the divine feminine perceive themselves? How does the divine feminine perceive themselves? What is going on with this deck? I don't understand. 2 cards. I need it for the divine feminine. How's the divine feminine perceive? Because I'm telling you, I don't know, it's like they don't want me to have an answer here. I'm telling you, how you perceive yourself is really how the divine masculine is going to perceive you. 2 2 cards, please, because they have no choice but to mirror back what's inside. And when I say you, I mean us. Like I'm a part of this. Okay, so the way you perceive yourself, interesting. Well, we have the Emperor reversed, and we have the Tower card reversed. So this is how you perceive yourself. I do apologize if this video is going in and out. It's kind of weird that's doing that. Okay, so it's like, I almost feel like for a lot of you, it's like you're not trusting your own authority. It's like you're almost like giving your power away. It's almost like instead of feeling like you're powerful, you feel like, you know, like you might be giving it away to the DM. Like when you like the way you perceive yourself as like not in the driver's seat. You perceive yourself as kind of like really kind of like this, like you perceive yourself as this, even though they don't perceive you like this, like you perceive yourself as someone like my life is in suspension over somebody else. Like somebody else has some sort of say in my happiness, depending on what they do, depending on what they say, depending on what their reaction is, depending on their next move. And it's like you've given your power away with the Emperor reversed. You're not the leader in your own life. That's how you perceive it. I'm not saying it's true. I feel like this is how you perceive yourself. And then you also have the Tower card reversed. So this, I think you also perceive yourself as gone through a lot. Like you literally went through this transformation. You perceive yourself as gone through a lot of dark nights of the soul, a lot of shakeups. You've come out of, you know, a lot of transformative, we all have come out of a lot of transformative type situations, and we're releasing so much that doesn't serve us anymore. And so it's almost like you perceive yourself as doing a lot of work here, is what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. But let me get some clarifiers. So let's look at the DM. How does the DM perceive themselves? Can I have a clarifier, please, for 7 of Cups reversed and 4 of Cups reversed? How do they perceive themselves? Interesting. Well, this came out reversed, so it's almost like this has to do with soulmate, soul connection, partnership, soul contract. It's like they perceive themselves as somebody who is almost like not followed the agreement or followed their soul contract because it was reversed. I'm going to look at the feminine now. How does the divine feminine perceive themselves? These are really not the answers I expected, to be honest. I'm kind of surprised at these answers here, but that's good though. There's some kind of an awakening going on here, I think. Like almost like a new way of looking at things. So the divine feminine, what is the perception of yourself? Interesting. Well, a lot of you, I'm not saying all of you, remember this is a reading for the collective. Some of you perceive yourselves as a girl with the snake. So some of you feel like your boundaries have been, you perceive yourself as allowing others to cross your boundaries, probably particularly your twin flame. Feel like maybe you've been used. Feel like you've been maybe beaten up a little bit here, like you perceive yourself as a girl with a snake. If this is true, then maybe it's true. Maybe some of you are looking to move on, perhaps. Maybe some of you are looking elsewhere. And perhaps some of you are looking, because this was reversed, looking for a soulmate elsewhere. Some of you might be doing that. Some of you are getting tired. You think your boundaries are being crossed. Okay, so let's keep going. So what I'm interested in now is let's get a connecting energy. How does the DM and DF perceive each other, please? How does the DM and DF perceive each other, please? One card for the collective. How does the DM and DF perceive each other? One card. Yeah. That's interesting. Wow, we got the cassette. Okay. So, the way you perceive each other is like you're both like replaying events in your head over and over and over of like what the past was. So like you're both perceiving each other through what has happened in the physical. And this is not good. Because the twin flame journey, I know, is going to end up in the physical. It's going to definitely, that's the, okay, but after all the work we go through, yes, we're going to end up together physically, but what they're asking us to do first is to connect spiritually and energetically through our higher selves. So we are becoming one with our higher selves first, okay? And so I always get that card with the Divine Feminine deck as how to get through this maze, how to get through this, like, what do they call it? Not like a labyrinth, because it feels like a freaking labyrinth, like a really long one. Like we're trapped in this labyrinth for a really long time, doesn't it? And it's so confusing. And even in just when I think I figured it all out, there's another piece to it. There's another piece of the puzzle that I'm here to share with you. This is why I'm doing this channel, because they keep sharing with me more and more stuff. I could literally write a book now. Anyway, and I'm on the same journey as you. That's why I'm doing this channel. I'm not doing this channel because I'm sitting up on my high horse because I got it all done. No, I'm going through the work with you. Like I'm in the same, like I shouldn't say I'm in the same spot as everyone. Like we're all in different areas of the twin flame journey. Like no one's in the same spot, but I've gone through hell and back on this journey. And I still have hellish days, not gonna lie. Still have hellish days. And so, but when I have those hellish days and when I crash and when I seemingly hit rock bottom, that's when I learn something new. And that's when the divine's like, yes, because they really knock me on my ass, let me tell you. They knock me down and then I go through a really like dark period. It doesn't last very long, thank goodness. Not even a whole day, just like a few hours. And then I start to realize what is happening and what they're trying to teach me. And then I get something. I got a new chapter from my book that I'm probably going to have to write. Anyway, so what's going on here is between the two of you, between the DM and the DF, you are replaying events over and over in your head. It's like these programmed, like 3D. Back in the day, sorry, that's my elbow, by the way, making that squeaky noise. So, you know, when you had that relationship before, it was very like a conditional, loving type relationship where you kind of leaned on each other, and it was more that traditional relationship where you expected to feel happy from the other person. You expected that person to treat you in a certain way so that you'd feel happy. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what this relationship is about. It's about being whole inside of you. It's about you being powerful on your own. No matter who leaves, no matter who comes and goes, you're fine, like truly fine, not like fake fine, like how I act. All my life, I've always been like, yeah, people come and go. Is what it is. Who cares? I was like, of course I cared. But like truly feeling like I'm not fragmented, and just knowing that whatever is triggering you, which of course being in separation is very triggering, right? Whatever is triggering you is something inside of you that has not been healed. And you have to go back, and it's not even about healing it. I'm figuring out. It's not even about healing it. It's about accepting it and loving it. So, for instance, if you feel disrespected if you feel your divine masculine disrespected you in any kind of way, It's seeing that in yourself and knowing that within you, it may not be in the same exact way. You may not disrespect people in that particular way, but you may be disrespecting people in another type of way, and owning it and saying, but I love myself anyway. Because the problem is we're suppressing our so-called bad side and we're elevating our so-called good side. We want to do like what Buddhism says, right? We want to do the Four Noble Truths, and we want to have right thinking, and we want to do right doing, and we want to be right, And honestly, that's great and good. And yes, we do have to do that. But at the same time, we have to accept our shadow side. And so we have to really be in love with our shadow. This was the hardest one for me so far, because I knew this intellectually, but I really wasn't practicing it. Every time I would get triggered, I would say to people, oh, you're being very disrespectful. Or, when I say people, like my daughter or, whoever I'm close to, I'm very open with, like, that's disrespectful. But anyway, and just like, and I wasn't noticing like that part of myself is disrespectful in other ways, maybe not in the same way, and that it's okay, and I shouldn't suppress it and say I love that part about myself. I own it. Yes, I am disrespectful, and it's okay to be disrespectful. Yes, I cross others' boundaries. I do this, and it's okay, and I love myself. And it's like loving like all of you, like your whole self. And so you're not fragmented. So, because trust me, when you get into twin flame physical union, you will be mirrored like you never ever thought possible. And you're going to be so triggered. I was triggered so much, I think I cried most of the time. I don't think he knew that. I think I told him, but I cried. Not knowing like what this was, and what it was he was mirroring back to me every part of me that I denied about myself, because I suppressed it. I suppressed everything about me, because a lot of me is not good. So a lot of me was suppressed. Some of me is in society's eyes good, and so that part I let shine. But there are parts of me that society does not deem as good, and so I try to suppress that. And that's the part that got really mirrored out of me with my twin flame. And it made me cry. And so that's what's happening. So with you guys, like replaying with what was going on, just know that was your work. I know they crossed your boundaries. I get it. I seriously get it. You preach them to the choir. I know what you're talking about. But I know, but it's your work that they had to give to you. You signed up. This is a soul contract. You guys signed up for this to mirror this out, and this is so that you would accept all of yourselves. You would accept good, bad, and ugly. The good, bad, and the ugly. Whatever you deem ugly, and I don't mean like physical appearance. I mean what you feel like is an ugly. Like for instance, my ugly self obviously is disrespectful, because I would see that in other people. And only if it triggers you is it something that you're suppressing. If it doesn't trigger you, like if there are certain things that people do or say that doesn't trigger you, it's not something that's suppressed in you, and it's something you've already accepted with yourself. It's not something you need to heal. But if it's something that triggers you, it's hard to catch, man. Like when you're in the middle of it and you're mad and you're all like, I can't tell you in this past week how many times I got very angry over, and not just with my daughter, with like myriads of people, lots of people, made me mad for different reasons. And I had to like say to myself, okay, a part of me does that too. I know that part of them made me mad, and that what they did made me mad. I said, but I do it too, and I have to, and I realized I have to love myself, because I was beating myself up over it. I'm like, I suck. Kept saying, I suck. But really, I was doing it wrong. I thought that's not how you do shadow work. You have to be centered, first of all, and you have to be kind to yourself, and you have to love yourself, and you have to accept that part. Like this is, I think, the final step before twin flame physical union, by the way. I don't know. This is I say that, but I've been on a long journey here since 2017. So, but I feel like this has to be it. It can't be any more. Please let there be no more. Okay. So anyway, let's move on. Let's take a look at what you got with oracles. So this is a cool deck where it tells you to pull an extra card when you pull a card. It's kind of neat. So with this card, you got choices. And so this is telling me that the DFs have choices, right? And so you want to make choices for your highest good, right? So if it is something where you're perceiving your divine masculine as in too much fear, and that they need more time, and that you're kind of giving your power away to them. And for some of you who really feel like girl with the snake, if you perceive yourselves as girl with the snake, which is very interesting, by the way, or if you feel like your boundaries, you allow people to cross your boundaries, maybe that's an awakening for you. Maybe you're starting to realize that you do allow people to cross your boundaries. That's good, because you don't, that's not what you're here for. Like that's not what the twin flame union is about. It's not allowing someone to cross your boundaries. It's fixing it within yourself. I shouldn't say fixing. Accepting it within yourself and loving that part of you and saying, yeah, I don't suck. I just, I'm disrespectful, and that's just a part of me. That's me, and I'm not fragmented, and I love myself. It's so weird though, isn't it? It's such a hard lesson. Anyway, so choices. And so then they said pick another card because this is something that you need to make a choice on. And you got loyalty. So loyalty is all about knowing the path you're on and being loyal to that path, like knowing intuitively like what you're supposed to be doing, okay, and following your intuition and being loyal to it, and not like allowing your head to get in your way, and your head saying, yeah, but would it be easier if I just like moved on and I was with some guy that just like, bought me flowers and took me out to dinner and, would that be easier? Yes, it would be. That would be easier. But at the same time, you signed up for this. This is a soul contract. Your soul signed up for this. I bet you in your dreams you're starting to see this. I know, because your dreams are getting wild now, right? I know mine are. So is my daughter's. And so in your dreams, you're going to start seeing sometimes, you're going to see your soul contract. You're going to see like what you signed up for, and your guides are really talking to you. They're like, okay, you're doing really well. You know how my guides are talking to me during the day? They literally put this in my ear all day. This girl is on fire. Like this is the song I hear all day long. They're telling me I'm on fire. They're like, keep it up. You're doing so well. You can do it. You can do it. This is what I hear all day. So listen for those songs. Maybe it's for the collective. Maybe it's a message for the collective. They give me another song too. When I remember it, I'm going to tell you. But there's another song that they give as well. It's something about something good's about to happen. I feel like something good's about to happen. Anyway, I'll let you know when I remember it. Okay. So anyway, yeah, being loyal. So making choices for your highest good. Okay. Not like something. Don't give yourself away for like a cheap thrill, or don't give yourself away for like. Just don't. I get it. Like I know some people are tired and they're like, I've done the work. Like I see myself as like I went through it. I've done this. But yeah, just give yourself power. Like give your power back to yourself, because all you're doing is like, if you're truly feeling this way, like you're giving your authority away, you're just gonna give it away to the next person. You really want to build this with your significant other. Okay. So how your twin flame feels right now, as they see you as stable, but they feel like this relationship is over, send your twin flame loving energies. Okay. They'll energetically feel that. I know it sounds weird, but right now you have to build that energetic connection first so they don't feel like this is over. Unless you want them to feel like this is over, but just remember they're a mirror. Okay. So like whatever you do, they'll do. It's just a mirror. So like if you stop loving your twin flame, they have no choice but to mirror them. Or if you choose not, or if you unconsciously don't love yourself, they have no choice but to mirror them. It has everything to do with vibration. If you move on and forget about your twin flame, they have no choice but to mirror them. It's just a mirroring because it's you in another body. That's why there are some twin flames that get together quickly and some that are in and out and some that never get together because they have no choice but to mirror each other. And so it just depends on where you're at in your journey. Okay. And then some twin flames are just friends and they're really good with that. They're really good with just being friends. And, you know, who's to say like that's not a bad thing, right? Like that's not what I want with my twin flame. I want marriage. But some twin flames, they want to be friends, and that's okay too. But like energetically, like let your twin flame know how you really feel, like not like how you fake feel, like how you really feel. Like if you really feel like you want something else, if you really feel this way, then yeah, take your power back and go for it. That's how you really feel. Okay, so next card you got is Fox. Okay. And so yeah, so the fox is all about like observing and like knowing when to pounce and when not to pounce, right? So the fox is very swift, right? So they're kind of eyeing the situation and they're kind of like, okay, so here's the situation. Now's the time to act on this, and it's not time to act on that. And it's just like you have these animal instincts of like observing, right? Like just observing, not like rushing into anything. Not into like, oh screw it, I'm done. This is way too long. I'm just gonna. It's almost like you're just observing, and you're assessing, and you're being really smart about it, and you're just following your gut instincts. So that's what the divine's asking you to do right now. Just follow your gut instincts on what this is, because whatever it is, the divine has a better outcome for you than you do. So let's just say you do decide that you're going to do the shadow work and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to try this and just like love all parts of me. I'm just going to love the parts of me that the rest of society thinks is not a good, attribute, where again, whatever it is that you get triggered about others, let's just say you get really triggered if someone litters, because I know I get triggered with that, or if someone doesn't recycle, it really triggers me. It's not the fact that they littered that's making you triggered. It's not the littering, it's the disrespect. So, like, they're disrespecting the earth, they're disrespecting others, right? They're leaving litter, or they're not recycling. It's wasteful. So it's not that. You're still stand for that. You're not saying, oh, okay, well, it's okay to litter. No, that part you're still like very strict. You're like, it's not okay to litter. But some people don't get triggered because what's not inside them is the fact that they feel like that's disrespectful. Okay. And so for those of you who feel very like, oh, that's disrespectful, that's the part you have to work on. Okay. So it's always like the behind the behavior. And so the disrespect part is you have to own that. Okay. And love that part of you. And just say, you know what? I'm disrespectful too. Not in that particular way, but in many ways. If you decide to do that, I promise you, the divine will reward you. But if you decide you're like, no, I don't want to do all that. I don't want to do the whole shadow work thing. If you get back with your twin flame in the physical, that will be mirrored out of you tenfold. And I doubt you'll be able to stay, or you will stay, but you won't be that happy. It's my best guess. Okay. It's really best to get that kind of under it's just best to get that healed as best you can, even if it's just like 50%. Don't be like me. Don't go into twin flame physical union with having that 0% healed, because it's just not going to work. Or if you just decide, yeah, I'm just gonna move on. I'm just gonna move on. Well, you're still going on the twin flame journey, so it's still gonna happen. Like you're just gonna manifest different lessons. You're not gonna be any happier. I mean, at first you will be, but then you'll find that, oh, I still have to do the work. is what they're telling me. So just to give you a heads up, because I'm always like, this isn't like enough. Not that I want to date other people, but I'm always like, this is enough work for like 6 months. It's just that's too much. Too much work. Okay, so you also got 432 hertz music, frequency of the universe and body. So they're saying that this is very, very healing for you. If you listen to the 432 hertz, you can listen to it while you work, maybe on the YouTube or when you're asleep. It is very healing for you. All right, the next card you got, think of all the beauty still left around you and be happy. So that's a statement from Anne Frank, right? So Anne Frank, who was blind and deaf, and she literally says, think of all the beauty still left around you and be happy. If you think about all the beauty in your life, okay. And that gets easier, I think, once you start to accept the darkness in your life too. That's the hard part. Accepting all of you. So easy to accept the great parts of ourselves, right? Sorry, I have to straighten out my knee. Okay, next card you got is modesty. Modesty. Right. So funny. Okay, so this is what they're telling me. Okay, so they're asking you to like hang on and please don't move on with someone else, right? I know. This is what they're telling me. It's like they're asking you to like live your life modestly right now, where you're, well, what they're telling me is that you're just living your life more in the fifth dimension and not through the body. Like you're not paying attention to all those third dimensional needs. Instead you're focusing more on the fifth dimension right now. Like that's where they need you right now. They don't need you like needing sex and needing whatever it is that you get in the physical that is like pleasing in the moment. They need you to be focusing on your vibration, focusing on you doing your shadow work, energetically working on yourself, clearing your energy, doing your yin practices. You could literally look up yin, Y-I-N, practices, and being the divine feminine. Okay, this is getting to be a long video, but now they're asking me to talk about like what it means to be a divine feminine. So, and I actually wrote this down, but to be a divine feminine, it's like you're going with the flow, you're accepting all the bad parts about yourself. I wrote this all down because it's so new to me. Accepting all the bad parts of myself. Say what? But that's what they want us to do. That's how we're going to become whole. That's what being whole means, accepting all of ourselves. Talking to your soul daily, going within for your happiness, sending loving vibes to your divine masculine as well as humanity, doing your daily cleansing of your own energy, setting an intention for what you want, and then being open to divine guidance on how to get it. Like following your divine and your intuition. Doing your inner child healing work, allowing yourself to feel all emotions and knowing that you are enough. Okay, that's what it means to be the divine feminine. Okay, the next card you got. How long is this? 44 minutes. Oh my gosh, we gotta hurry up. Okay, so the next one you guys, running from your own darkness is causing your twin flame running separation. Resolve your deep inner wounds. Right, so that's all like that's it in a nutshell, right? Running from your own darkness. That's what we're doing. When you run from your own darkness, when you run from your own shadows and you suppress it, you don't want anything to do with it, and you project it onto everyone else and say, yep, you're disrespectful, you're crossing my boundaries, you are a cheater, you're like whatever it is that like triggers you. Just know it's something inside of you. It may not look the same way, but something inside of you that you're suppressing, and they're asking you to own it and be okay with it and not say that you suck. Like, don't do what I was doing. I was all, I just suck as a person. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing with my shadow work. And my guides were like, oh, for the love of God, what is wrong with you? That's not how to do it. And so it's like loving yourself and loving all parts of yourself. So yeah, so when you're running from your darkness, I think we just said this on another video, by the way, because I think that's like the big thing we're all working on right now. I get it. We're all on this journey together. Okay, the next card you got is Twin Flame Union equals sacred connection within self. Open our hearts to others. This is the new earth. So, yeah. So it's a sacred connection, right? You know, it's not really about this, the Twin Flame Union, right? It's not about that third dimensional type relationship that we all know and love. It's a sacred connection. Soulmates also are sacred. Not going to say soulmates aren't sacred. They are. Okay. I mean, every relationship's sacred is what they're telling me. But this is a sacred connection with yourself first and foremost. It finally brings it to your knowledge base where you're like, oh, this is where my beautiful twin flame is teaching me to have this sacred connection with myself first and foremost, and that you're opening your heart up to all parts of yourself, even the parts that you think are not very nice, that you've suppressed or oppressed or feel like society wouldn't like too much, and pretend that you're not, that's what I do. Pretend that it doesn't happen. Pretend that only other people act like that. And they're saying this is the new earth. Okay, so in the new earth of the fifth dimension, we are all learning to do that, accept all parts of ourselves, so that way we're not projecting onto each other, and we're not, getting triggered by what other people are saying to us or acting with us. And, instead we're like seeing it. So that's going to help us become all one. That's going to help us feel like we're all one. By accepting our own shadow side it's how we're going to help us accept everyone else's shadow side, and we are going to become all one. Okay. The next card we got is romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So for some of you who are feeling kind of like, oh, I'm giving my power away, just know that, these romantic feelings that you're feeling, don't give up on those and explore those more energetically with your twin flame. I know that sounds wild, but I know this is going to sound wild, but when you feel these romantic feelings for your twin flame, even though it's not in the physical, it's more energetically, it's like I can feel my twin flame's higher self with me energetically, or maybe it is my twin flame, I don't know. And it's like I literally like feel them, like I shouldn't say them, it's a him. Like energetically, I feel my twin flame when I have these romantic feelings. It's like I feel like I'm not alone. Like energetically, they're almost, I know it's not physical, but they're connecting to me. I know that sounds weird, but they're connecting with me. And I don't know if any of you experienced that, but it's like you're really not alone. Okay. I'm sorry this is a long video. I try to shorten these, but the divine gives me so much. I didn't even expect this video to go in this direction. Okay, so the next thing we got is naked before the stars. Okay, so this also is taking your power back. So what do you notice when you look in the mirror? Are you in love with yourself? Like, are you looking in the mirror like the way she sees, like when you look in the mirror, do you see yourself as this goddess? You know, do you see this divine feminine? Do you see this like, oh my God, like there's nothing better, right? And so it's like all your vulnerabilities, and it's like looking yourself in the mirror, and they're telling me, well, it's not just, again, it's not about just the looks. They're telling me, they're like, it's also about looking in the mirror and noticing your shadow sides, noticing, you know what, and there are things that I do that's not very nice, and there are things that I do that aren't for the highest good, and there are mistakes that I make, and there are things where I could be rude. Okay, I mean, I could be rude on the road, not gonna lie. I don't like when people go slow. I could be rude. Not that I honk at anyone, but energetically, I think I send out vibes. Like, could you please move out of my way? Anyway, and it's like not suppressing that, right? And it's just accepting that part of you and looking in the mirror and saying, I love myself, all of me, not just the really awesome parts of me. Golly gee, I'm so nice to people. But I have to love the part of me that's mean to people. Like, that's hard, you know? But that's what they're asking us to do. And then to heal it. And the more you do, and the more you love that human side of you, the more you'll integrate it with your higher self. And the more you'll probably not be mean to people, is what they're telling me. Because the more you suppress it, they say, the more it forces you to react. Because ever since we were babies 0 to 5 or 0 to 7, we were taught and we were punished. I know I was punished. I don't know about you. I was very punished. I would say I had the most strictest boundaries you've ever seen, boundaries galore. And so, like, you cross that line and you are bad. You're a bad girl. And so then you just end up suppressing it because you always feel like, oh, that was a bad thing, and you're always feeling guilty and shameful, and everything I do is so bad. And so this is looking in the mirror and accepting all your so-called society bad thing. Like who's to say it's bad, right? It's like just because society says it's bad doesn't mean it's bad. But if society says it's bad, love yourself anyway. Look in the mirror and love all of you. Okay. The next card is in the 5th dimension. If you truly love yourself, why would you settle for how you were treated by your 3rd dimensional twin flame? Okay, so yeah, so what this is saying is now that you're in the 5th dimension and you truly love yourself, don't give your power away to what it once was. So if you stay in the 5th dimension, you are not going to attract a 3rd dimensional version of your twin flame. You're just not. Is there a 3rd dimensional version of your twin flame? Oh, yes. Yes, there is. And you've already connected with them, to be honest, because it just depended on where we were vibrating at the time. So, for instance, they're asking me to share when I first met my twin flame back in 2017. So 2018 is when we started hanging out, like very beginning 2018. My divine masculine chose to go with a friend of mine instead of me. So dated a friend of mine instead of me, and made that choice. But in hindsight, it was a good thing because he was more in a 3rd dimensional vibration at that time. And so it wasn't a good match for me. So he wasn't a good match. So it was almost like the divine came in and blocked it with this friend of mine, whatever. And it was for my highest good. And I'm guessing for his highest good, not to put us together during that time, because that wasn't a good match for me. Okay. And so, and now that you're even grown even more now, like all the growth, like why would you allow yourself to be treated in such a way when, like, only if you treat yourself that way is how they would treat you. So if you don't treat yourself with respect, and if you don't put boundaries down, and if you don't say, this is what I want and this is what I'm worth, Like when you're with your twin flame the next time like you see them, it's like you need to put boundaries. Like you need to be like, you know what? I'm looking for a commitment, and if you can't give me a commitment, I'm not interested. Like dead, like you can still unconditionally love them and say that. Like I want a commitment or never mind. No, seriously. You can tell I'm triggered. That's a part of me that needs to be healed. But anyway, yeah, you don't want to be triggered again. Okay, you want to keep working on your own boundaries as well. Okay, don't settle, is what I'm trying to say. Don't settle. Okay, next card you got is Beauty and the Beast. You need some space in the relationship. Yeah, so the divine is telling you need space in this relationship right now, and basically, as you can see, this theme that I did not think it would go in this direction at all, where you need to have some space in the relationship. I'm so sorry, it's 55 minutes already. Whew. Okay, so you need space in this relationship because obviously you need to work on your shadow side because this will be mirrored out of you when you're in physical connection with your twin flame. Enough said. I think I said it 100 times. Trust me on this. Don't trust me, actually. Trust your own intuition, but if that's what your intuition's telling you. Okay, I have these weird cards. I don't know. I felt like I wanted to get these Alex Gray cards. I know they're kind of weird. Anyway, so they call this card Courage. And it says really, really weird things. It says magical layered meat maiden, sinuously sewn into the tough fabric of bone, robust, overworked, atrophied, aching, working by oppositional mechanics, contracting and relaxing, engineered by God for beauty and grace from the micro strength that constricts the blood vessels to the gluteal and macrocosm. Power woman, thy strength bears each generation. So I guess what they're telling you is that, like, look what you're made up of. This is what they're telling me. It's like, and of course they use the muscle system to use reflection of courage or strength, I guess you could call it. And it's like, you're this powerful person. Like, look how God made you, right? Like God made you into this, this is the word that Alex uses. They engineered you into the, like someone with beauty and grace and micro strength and power, and like you even bear children. Like how powerful can you possibly? So don't give your power away. Like whoever you're giving your power or authority away to, whether this is your twin flame, whether this is to another person, whether this is to the government, whether this is to religion, whether this is to politics, anything. You be your own authority. Okay? You be your own authority, and you're the one who, like, I want to go back to this card, this first card we got. Like, you're the one, like the fox, like, be observant, okay? Know when to pounce, know when not to pounce, know when to zig, know when to zag. Observe, just like be observant first and know what's inside of you first. Know that everything outside of you is a reflection inside of you. I mean, the saying, as above, so below, as within, so without. So everything that's within you, that is being reflected outside of you. So that's why it's good to observe. And when you see something coming at you, be like, okay, I will accept that part of me because we are all one. And know that no one's doing anything to you. Just see them as their soul helping you to call back all the fragments of yourself. Like we've all made ourselves so fragmented, you know? Oh, you're bad, and yeah, you did this, and whatever. Bad girl. And also, for those of you who are doing this, okay, so let's just say for some of you, you're like, you know what, I'm dating, and I just feel like I want to feel, you know what, then that's what you need to do, and that's not bad either, is what they're telling me. They're like, that's not bad. I'm not, there is no right or wrong. It's just another direction. But they're also asking you to be loyal to you and be loyal to like what you truly want. Don't settle. But it's okay if you want to. But I think a lot of you perceive your divine masculine as this awesome alliance, this partnership, you know? The last card you got is my commitment to myself is important. I'm committed to. Ooh, I like that. My commitment to myself is important. I am committed to. Well, that is all I have for today. I know it's a little much. I did not expect my reading to go this way. So thank you so much for clicking on my channel. If you've lasted this long for 1 whole hour, I very much appreciate it. And I really believe that those of you who are watching my channel at this time, you're probably in the same position as me. You're probably at the same level as me in this twin flame journey. And I think we're getting close to becoming whole beings, because I think there is a lot of pieces of the puzzle to this. And I think we're getting close to twin flame physical union because of all the work we're doing. And so this also tells me, I don't think it's a lot of people who have come this far, but some of us have gone quite lengths to get this far. And so keep going. Keep going. Don't give your power away, okay? And just see yourself, whole. Every single part of yourself. Every part. Like anything that anyone thinks is bad, see that in yourself and love it. Just love yourself, no matter, like, for everything. I mean, all of it. All right. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.